Alright, Paradoxers, welcome to episode 1. Shonen Jump comes out around 9 a.m. on Sundays where I live, so coffee first. But after that, I dive in soon after so I don't get spoiled on social media. My usual order of preference is to warm up with My Hero Academia and then just go with Chainsaw Man. Just band-aid straight off the skin, just in case anyone dies or blows up that week. Just steady myself emotionally for that. Usually though, by that time I'm like warmed up, and you know what that means. It's One Piece time. Usually. So this week it was off and something caught my eye. And well, it was more like it was thrown at my eye, but Shonen Jump was none too coy this week. They had the Time Paradox Ghostwriter manga in the main image block. It was number 1 in the order for the new comics coming out. So they're really trying to promote this thing. Because I am a huge One Piece dork, I did hear rumblings about the series as they, share the same translator. Stephen Paul has been hinting, dropping clues on his Twitter lately, and I thought he was actually working on Moroking or Bone Collection, but when they came out, he wasn't on it. I thought it was for sure Moroking because the art was good, but I digress. Not those two. So he didn't really mention that he was going to work on TPG over here, but I'm glad he did. So from what I have seen, they trust Stephen Paul with the big titles now. Like, of course, he does One Piece. They gave him the Hachomaru series that was pretty hyped up before they canceled. And now he's got this one, which looks pretty good. So, Time Paradox Ghostwriter. What a mouthful. Its basic premise is a modern-day manga who is having trouble breaking into the business, and he gets a Shonen Jump volume from the future teleported to him through his goddamn microwave each week. Can you believe that? Yes, it's just completely absurd. And its color pages pretty much let you know that we are all in on the joke because they show it to you right away. To me, this is already setting the tone about what it is. This is going to be Death Note, where it's trying to fit in reality, or Bakuman, where it is reality. This is surfing on the complete wave of absurdity as it should be. It's a bonkers premise, which we will get deep on later this video. But before we begin, for anyone out there living under a rock, this is a Shonen Jump title published by Viz here in the United States. Please support the official release. This video series will be referencing the published version courtesy of the publisher only. Shonen Jump is $2 a month, and the latest 3 chapters are going to be free for everyone. Of course, there is only 1 chapter out now, but they usually let the latest 3 be free. Before we jump into the chapter reaction, let's review about what we know about the series so far. The writer Kenji Ichima appears to be as new as there is not a lot of press or credits for him for past works he has done from what I've seen. The artist is known as he has had at least 2 previous series, Cross Account and Tokyo Wonder Boys. I was actually slightly excited because I thought maybe he was from a sports manga, Cross Manage, but that is not the case. Cross Account is a story about an average high school kid who secretly manages a popular social media account. People seemed to like it, but agreed it was not really a great Shonen Jump title per se. Tokyo Wonder Boys is a soccer manga about 2 players leading a struggling team, but with some intrigue. Maybe a soccer version of Haikyuu? Regardless, the series had mixed reviews and did not last that long either. Sports manga is notoriously difficult, as they are difficult to stay unique and not start going into places where the audience has been before. It's just very difficult to carve that unique path for themselves. I am not personally familiar with his previous works at all though, as both of these series have not been licensed for the US market. Alright, time for the chapter reaction. Alright, here we go. I'm sure you guys have read it already, but let's go through chapter 1 together and relive it. I'll put up a spoiler alert on these videos where I think fresh viewers can stop and go read it themselves and come back here later to discuss. But really, just go read it right now if you haven't. The reason why I'm talking to you right now is that it's worth checking out, at the very least, so there you have it. Right out of the gate, we have color pages. Glorious color pages, really great art. It leads into a tease of that absurd premise that I was talking about, and it just looks fantastic. You can tell the art is going to be dope from that very first panel. Most reminiscent to me is, of course, like I said, Takeshi Obata, Death Note, Bakuman, Hikaru no Go, some of like his past works that I've checked out. It's just really awesome art, really clean. There's like a realism there, but it's still distinctly manga. So I think this artist is very similar to him. I would say, you know, of course, Takeshi Obata is a legend and has done consistently great work. We'll see if this guy can get there, can like be consistent like he has. But from what I've seen right now, like this first chapter looks freaking amazing. Then we move into a character introduction for our hero. His name is Sasaki, on his way to Shonen Jump editor meetings. For those of you who are familiar with the Bakuman, they are like mentoring sessions with editors to help develop the young talent and guide them along the industry. He gets there on time, even after retrieving a balloon stuck in a tree for a child, building his personality up. So some backstory about Sasaki is revealed. He is a lifelong jump fanatic that went to school for art, but recently has been in a slump since winning runner-up in a jump rookie contest. Those are like the periodical contests they run in other Shueisha manga properties. But unfortunately, he has not been doing so good since he got that good award as a runner-up. So he has been working as an assistant for other artists, as a lot of these famous mangakas have all done in the past, like Oda Ichiro for One Piece and etc. etc. So he's doing this to finance his time in the big city. The villain in this chapter is, of course, the editor. He is shown as very negative and uncourteous to our hero here, and it's kind of sad. I mean, it's sad that our hero kind of sucks and is rejected, but also sad that he is treated poorly, not even given too much like guidance. So he's in this meeting showing his art, which I can tell you is like really cathartic when you spend so much time on it and like you show it to someone, you don't know what they're gonna say. But he decides to do one more submission, even though this editor shot down his current manuscript here. But he is so excited and so characteristically Goganem that he wants to do another before the submission of this latest contest. So he pulls an all-nighter, comes to the thing, and he's shot down again. And truthfully, you know, he wasn't that good, and the editor let him know. The editor was a little bit nicer this time, and he kind of explained to him why it was not working out. In doing so, they kind of let us know like what his problems are and why he's not succeeding. So it's not just for him, it's just for us. That first meeting was really to just kind of build up the story and also like make you feel like he's trying so hard. So this is like his second submission already, but this one is a little bit more thorough in terms of letting us know what kind of mangaka he is. I think it's noteworthy that they maintain the same realism that we had with Bakuman in this way. Like, if you've read that series where it's about two youngsters breaking into the manga industry with Jump, the editor works with them. They are not immediately successful like a sports manga, immediately winning a game and then they go to the tournament and they kill it. Those guys in that 20 volume set or whatever go through a lot of up and downs. So it's the same here, just brutal truth to our hero Sasaki here, and it's just, he is broken up about it. So he goes home and he's on the street, thinking, and they go do some flashbacks, revealing all the pressure in his life leading up to where he is now. And it all leads up to, like, should he give up? So he goes home and he's right about to say, like, I quit, like, verbally, and just kind of like declare it. Like, when you say it, it puts it out into the world and not in your mind. So he's right about to do that. And as he does that, his apartment is struck by lightning. And his microwave is destroyed. He pours water on top of it to put the fire out. And that's when you see the panel. Ding! After some apprehension, he pulls out a weekly Shonen Jump from 10 years in the future. Can you believe that? So he does start to read it, and he discovers he doesn't know any of the work in it since it's like 10 years in the future. And he fixates on this one story, White Knight, by Itsuki Aino, who really inspires him, and he goes to the balcony after finishing that chapter, which that chapter was the initial like 50-something page first chapter of that series too. So lucky him. So he's like, oh, on the balcony, this is so amazing, and it's like raining, and it's like cathartic, whatever. And he goes back inside, and the freaking thing disappears. So not only does the microwave giveth, it somehow taketh away. I hope that gets revolved. It's kind of weird. I mean, so like if he watches the magazine the whole time, does it like fade away? Or like where does it go? Like does like a gremlin come and just like take it? Does the microwave zap it and then it goes back into the future? Anyway, it disappears and he thinks he's hallucinating. I mean, I think that's probably a proper response, right? Like something came out of the fucking microwave and you're like, what is this? And then you're like, I must have been crazy or drinking. He wasn't drinking, so he was hallucinating. So, totally crazy. Given it's gone, he thinks he dreamed up the entire thing. But he eventually starts to like get inspired by it, and he wants to put it into his work. So he plagiarizes it essentially, but he doesn't know it yet. He changes some of the alterations of the story, like how it is. So he makes it fit a different format in terms of total pages and etc. He does change it up. He has to remove some of the characters because he has less time. It's funny to think that the person writing this manga actually took into consideration all that detail when it centers around a time travel microwave. So this is kind of like bizarre to me. Anyway, when you're reading this in real time, you can see like the knucklehead is just not a bad dude, but kind of sucky. So being helped by a magic microwave was kind of like a happy moment when I was reading it. Eventually, he plagiarizes the script and he has his manuscript, and it's the next day. He works on it the entire night. He calls the editor again. The editor is like, go away from me. I already gave you the shot. I gave you many shots. And he hangs up on him. And Sasaki just breaks into the office. He runs past the guard. He finds the editor. He goes on his knees. Take it. Read my script. Okay, and so now here is the spoiler alert. The editor-in-chief steps in and puts the editor in his place after that he berates him. So he also yells at Sasaki, which is true because he's like breaking and entering essentially and disturbing everyone. But he does read the script after Sasaki pours his heart out to everyone in the department about his recent troubles, and of course everyone there loves manga, so you can see that they're moved by his speech. The editor-in-chief actually remembers him from his runner-up days, and sure enough, he reads the plagiarized work and he loves it. He immediately wants to run it as a series as well, after the rest of the editors around the office are all like passing it to each other and read it, and everyone likes it. the rude one, understandably, is like, "You made this? What the hell?" But it's a humanizing moment for the old editor, as the new one assigns him a new editor who appears to be more kind. We move into the immediate aftermath after that really quickly. So the hero, Sasaki, of the story goes to his hometown, his parents' house, presumably, to finish the script up. His friends help him ink it and do backgrounds and stuff. But they do a reveal. The reveal is that the microwave is still spitting out more future weekly Shonen Jump magazines. So what I got out of it is he's working on his 40-page initial first story, and the one that he plagiarized off of was like a full one-shot, which was like 50-something pages. So he's essentially working on like double issues in this few weeks while these magazines are popping out of the microwave. So I suppose when he goes back to his apartment, he can plagiarize some more. I don't know. We'll see about that. It looks like at least 2 or 3 have popped out of the microwave. And how does that even work? If the microwave door is open, like how does the teleportation like know where to begin? Anyway, a lot of questions here. And that's not it. The final ending, which is a twist in itself, but it doesn't make so much sense right now, is that we see the present day Itsuki Aino, who is seen developing White Knight as we speak. And she is shocked. She's like literally sitting in like papers where we can see she came up with the name, and she's like, "What?" And she apparently also looks mad at this dude too. So it took her 10 years to took her work that she's working on now to get into the magazine, and it comes out in the magazine right now. And initially shock, and then she gets angry at the dude. So many crazy things. All right, so for impressions, I thought the art is very good overall. I mean, it's so good that I think I would read the story just for the art, as long as the story was good enough. I mean, it's that good. I mean, you just appreciate things like that. The color pages this week, which is off the hizzle, just crazy, great feeling to it. Added a lot of dimension to the characters. Like I said, it's just as good as Death Note and Bakuman. Character designs, quite good, as well as our hero Sasaki is bringing back the mullet. He's got the work in front, party in the back going on, in a ponytail. You know what? I give him props. I mean, all these shonen characters all look the same. So, just to differentiate from Bakuman, he couldn't do those. And so he had the mullet. The editor looks cool. I mean, they portrayed the editor in a quite realistic way. He had a unique eyes. He just looked like a kind of like a moody, cool emo guy. Itsuki, the true author of White Knight, is fun looking. I wouldn't say that she looks too unique, but she looks cute, and she does have some pins in her hair. I think that helps signify, she's kind of fun. And they portray her as affluent. She doesn't go to school, and so it's interesting to see where they go with that. Overall, I thought the character designs were quite good, as I said. Panels are quite expressive, using all of the different kinds of panels you would expect. Split, repetitive, to show, how faces change. Emotional panels are done to that max dramatic effect. Splash scenes were really good, of him running into the office and showing the formal culture. A lot of detail going into the backgrounds at the office, around the city. It's just really well done. There's also a lot of books, as you can imagine, the Shonen Jump books actually all around. So I think they used the computer to do some of that, but otherwise, just like a lot of detail. I mean, my final impression is that this microwave time travel stuff is just completely absurd, and I'm here for it. I mean, there's nothing in this that would indicate that there's like a lot of seriousness going on. What I want from the series is just for it to just go apeshit. I mean, does it need to make so much sense? Yes. In the overview, like, why is like stuff coming out in the microwave? I think depending on how they play it is important or not. But I want to see the characters have crazy interactions. Like, you know, I don't want it to be normal. I want it to be as absurd as the premise. And I want to see big reactions. I'm curious to see who are the new characters, because some of these guys are pretty, you know, work obsessed. Like, is he going to get like some very interesting people helping him make assistants, manga assistants at his apartment? What is the new editor like? How is he going to meet the person who he's plagiarizing off of? Lots and lots of questions coming up in the next chapter. All right, so that's it for this week. Definitely go check it out if you haven't. I really appreciate you watching, listening. First episode. Thanks a lot. Subscribe, comment. Until then, keep a watch out on your microwave, yo.